Brian, you've helped generate over $60 million in sales. So you know quite a one thing or two about sales. How do you make prospects sell themselves?
Oof, big question. And I love that question because back in the day, I got started back in 2005, Astro, and we were told about sales. It was like the old school, super aggressive, sell your features, sell your benefits, all that fun stuff that caused a lot of rejection. And how to get prospects to close themselves is it's all for me, it's all questions. It's all questions, leading them down a path to live and relive their pain now or in the future, and also tonality. But just like a doctor, when you go in and get a diagnosis, they're the one leading the call, the one who is the expert in that example is the one diagnosing, asking questions, seeing what is the problem? How long have they had that problem? What have they tried to do to fix it, right? What happens if, you know, this pain, this problem, this challenge, how is it impacting the business? How is it impacting them and their family? Like getting clear, putting on, trying to get in their world and see where they're coming from before you start making any type of offer. And yeah, that's the biggest things that we teach our clients around persuading, getting clients to persuade themselves is really just asking the right questions and getting them to really understand what's going on in the prospect's world before they do any type of invitation, pitch, or, offer type of thing.
I've heard a phrase that says people love to buy, but they hate to be sold to.
Mhm,
So
mhm.
what do you think about that?
Yeah, when I hear that phrase, that people don't like to be sold, it just is that aggressive to me, it's like that they don't wanna be just, like, cornered into something, and usually, when you get on a call, most people know what you're doing, like, they've talked to salespeople before, so it's like when they're to be sold by someone is, like, to basically try and convince or trying to shove a square peg into a round hole. Something where it's like, look, I'm here for me. I need to make this quota. I need to make this coaching sale. I need to hit my numbers for the month or whatever that is. And you're out there trying to sell somebody versus people want to buy. I mean, people, they get a rush. There's a dopamine when you go to Amazon or you buy something, or especially when you invest in a coaching program or something that's supposed to get an ROI and increase your business. People want to feel like they're making progress. They want to feel like they're growing in their business. So that's what, if you've got something that can actually help get them from where they are to where they want to go, and you're only going to be able to find that out if you actually ask them, they will buy. People are happy, people they're buyers, man. They want to solve, they want to serve, they want to grow, they want to get that ROI when they want to hit their KPIs, targets, metrics, outcomes, all the things, and they are happy to do it if they don't feel sold, if they feel that you actually have genuinely their best interest at heart.
Hmm. Yeah, and it's this act of service in a way.
Mhm.
You're helping them make a decision, and if you're trying to sell them, you believe that that is actually the best decision for them to move forward. And it has to feel like even an unequal exchange, like their money should be
Mhm.
worth less than the value that they're trying to get.
100%, yeah. Yeah.
When did you do the shift from like pushing into more of a consulting? Like tell us a little bit more about your journey. Like what was the process?
Around just the whole selling, around some of this,
Your
yeah, I mean,
evolution about sales.
the actual scripts and the questionings, I mean, we've got our own frameworks and templates and systems and so forth there. I think the biggest shift for me was getting to understand, I didn't grow up with money, and I thought money, people who had money, they stole it. They cheated. If they have more, that means someone else has less. Like you want the big houses, the nice cars, but then you kind of like throw rocks at the people who have them, and you make this money is the root of all evil kind of thing. And for me, some of the biggest shifts that I had around sales was mindset. Like actually getting on a call and getting my relationship with money right and being able to ask confidently with certainty and conviction, knowing that I can help them get to wherever they want to go. And then actually bringing that energy to the call and being open to receiving that money. And it didn't start, I mean, we've sold 50K type of consulting packages and done for you type of solutions. It didn't start that way. I mean, I had a problem selling $1,500 type of packages, and you grow and you stretch and a big shift for me as well was like this idea of service, like you talked about, like seeing sales as this is how you transform somebody's life, like giving them an actual opportunity, helping them solve XYZ. They're in pain. If we can't get this done, they still have that problem when they go to bed tomorrow. That's a problem. You don't get to win on the economic side of it. That's one thing. You also don't get to transform a life, and they're still struggling. And seeing sales as like what an admirable position and role. I mean, it's the highest paying aside from like professional athletes. It's like the highest paying, no ceiling cap position you can have on this planet. So to get good at this and actually shift your psychology around sales and falling in love with the process and helping and serving, it's those were two big shifts that I had that allowed me to like get out of my own way and start really selling and making some serious
Mhm.
impact and money.
Yeah, I love that. And it is, as you said, first, you're getting rewarded because sales is a big game, but at the
Mhm.
same time, you know that you're helping. And the people that feel like sales is a bad thing is again back to those mindset stories. What do you think coaches have around those mindset besides the money piece? Because probably money is one of the biggest things. What are other things that prevent them from selling, from growing their business? Your experience.
Yeah, on the sales piece is that they just don't know what to say. Like they get on a call and they haven't put in the reps, they haven't gotten the practice in, and they just don't know how to control a call with the right questioning process. I mean, at least when we have found like the coaches who practice this stuff and they get in a rhythm, and it's just like with anything, like riding a bike or tying your shoe or going walking for as a kid, you would get up, you take the first step, and you would fall. And you got up. You didn't care about the embarrassment. You didn't care about the rejection or what your parents or siblings thought. You got up because you said, "Hey, I'm walking. This is something I want to do." So you would keep getting up no matter what. And when we talk about sales, it's just, you're not going to, this is the one thing that you can't just put on a podcast or a course and like get good at. You have to, there's no shortcut around it. You have to get in the conversations with people. That's it, and so many people, especially after 2020, don't wanna do that. They wanna sit behind a computer, and they want all these automations, AI is here, there's workflows, they want the mailbox money, and that's beautiful, and we can create a business like that, but usually you're not gonna sell a 10K, 5K, 20K type of program with an automation. It's going to require a human, and you gotta get good at it, and people wanna avoid it, and they wonder, coaches especially, it's like, show me your calendar, show me how much time you're putting into, because this is the only income producing activity in this business as a coach, as you know. I mean, you can do all sorts of anything else to fill time, and we do, but ultimately, at the end of the day, you look at how many offers did you make today? That's it. It's a real simple business. And typically, if a coach is not at that 10K type per month type of business, they might be making one offer a week, a couple a month. That's not going to get it done. Right. So yeah, it's not, it's volume, being okay with getting some of that rejection and knowing that your soul isn't the thing that's being rejected, it's the offer. And from that, we can learn a whole bunch of stuff. What we say, what we didn't say, what caused them to go this way and that, and like get curious about it and get better and increase our skills. And if you do that over a few weeks, over a few months, you're going to solve the income problem.
Without revealing your frameworks, could you do like an outline of what should a sales call actually be about?
Yeah, and I don't mind sharing frameworks at all. I mean, the biggest thing, we have a 5-step system, and it's introduction, discovery, transition, invitation, and then close. And 100% the sale is made in the discovery. That is where the questioning process is. That's where we're getting all the data about where the client is, what they're struggling with, what they've tried in the past, what works, what they've tried to solve X, Y, Z, all the things. We're getting like their what I call current condition questions. Like again, the doctor's diagnosis now. currently, what's the problem now? And then the second part is the future vision questions. So that's where are they at, where they want to go. We're basically creating that gap. And that future vision, that's essentially what we're going to be selling to, and which is the most important questions are those consequence questions. Like if they don't do anything about this problem challenge in the next 6 to 12 months, what happens to the business? Like, and going through that questioning process and doing it again with the right tonality that allows the client to actually open up, that shows your genuine concern, that really gets them to internalize their struggle, their pain, their problems, and really visualize and step into a future where if this keeps going like this over the next year, what is at stake? What else is that costing them? So those questions, that's where the sale is made. And we can't, there's this phrase where until we can say, hey, you know what, Astro, because you said XYZ, I think I've got something for you. I can help. Can I show you something real quick? And until you can say that permission based type of, hey, because you said this, or based on the fact, Astro, that you said ABC, let's go over here. I think I've got a plan. I've got a system that can help you do and get to XYZ result. So that questioning is part of inside the framework. Most coaches think it's in the close when you ask them, do you want, is it the blue pill or the red pill? Like, that's not it. They've made their decision way but prior to that. And it's really done in discovery, because in those answers, that's how we're going to shift and frame up the actual invitation of your offer, if it's a good fit and if you truly feel you can help them get where they want to go. So that's kind of our 5-step framework. Most of our drilling, our practicing, our rehearsing is really in the discovery and the questions. And a lot of that, even in that, has to do with the tonality, the speed, the velocity, and just the intonation, so that we can actually get them to breathe and really think and feel about where they're at.
Mm. Yeah, it's again going I'm going back to my sales calls where I say,
Yeah.
okay, like where was the framework missed? And it
Yeah.
makes total sense. And it's actually in the discovery. The sale is made in the discovery because people will see that you care. People will see that you're actually curious and you're not just like glazing over it. Eh, it's it's really easy to sell a referral, right? Because they've already come pre-sold. I've had the benefit that I've sold many referral person people because it's again like they're coming in from a trust base, but now I'm picking back up like, oh, like this person doesn't know me, doesn't trust me.
Yeah. Yeah.
I How do I break down those barriers?
Yeah, man. I mean, those referrals, they're beautiful. And when we get them, that means you're doing an awesome job as a coach. For all you beautiful coaches out there, that's an amazing gift. And I mean, many coaches come to us and they're like 100% referral, that no real marketing, no real systems, like with what you do with content, like how to get exposure, how to get more eyeballs. They don't have any of that stuff set up. And then when the referrals dry, you're literally at the mercy of what is brought to you. That is a very dangerous, that is, you are playing with fire. And so how do we build that trust? How do we build that? And I honestly, 80%, just like with anything, is the 80/20 rule. It has to do with energy and psychology on these calls. Like if they feel that you're in it for them, or for, excuse me, if you're in it for yourself, like they're gone. If they feel that you are in it just for the, you need to make a sale, you need to pay the rent or the mortgage, the economics, like boom, you have to disappear into serving them. And that's not just
Mhm.
a, it's not just like a nice catchphrase. Like you literally, especially for the coaches, and I know this because everything I talk about is all through experience. Back in 2005, when I first got started, I was going 30 grand in debt trying to figure out how to do this, how to start this business. I was a broke musician slash bartender, and it was tough. It was tough to put that aside because I needed to make sales that month, literally to pay the rent. And that's kind of where the beauty of all this is. Like you have to figure that piece out. There's some dark nights of the soul. You have to put them first, which is, when you focus on yourself in these calls, it's not going to work anyway. And it's just a whole personal growth journey, these sales calls, to be able to manage your state, to be able to sit in the pocket, to really connect to that future version of you who has the business, who has the wealth, the finance, the abundance, and bring that energy to the call, even if you're 30 grand in debt, no cash in the bank. And it's not about, I hate the fake it till you make it garbage. It truly is connecting to a future version of you, a vision wherever you're going and becoming that now in the present now and bringing that leader, that parent, that boss, that salesperson, that coach to the call and just owning your value and
Mm.
your worth in that call. That to me is because we can, if it was just scripts, Astro, we could wind up an AI bot and go through the questions and call it a day. And I wish we could do that. It would make everything easier, but it's not. It's human.
I want you to say that one more time in a synthesized manner. So, what does it mean to disappear for the client in order
Yeah.
to make a sale?
I got really being present. This isn't scripted. Not having those like so many coaches, man, they'll take a script and they'll just go boom, boom, boom. They won't even listen to the answers or expand and actually being there in that moment to really care with compassion, like about the other person. And they'll just go through their script. They won't try and bridge any questions or dive deep. They'll go super broad versus finding the pain point and then really drilling into that and going deep. And that, when I say disappear into serving them, it really is about like, it's not the sale isn't made at the surface level. It really is you putting your agenda or your perceived outcome and desire aside and really being there to serve. Because the goal with these discovery calls is we do want to, or discovery questions is really to find out what's going on, but then also throughout this process, establish that, hey, that you do have a plan. Like you handle coaches or you handle clients like this all the time, and there is a real solution here, and that through your XYZ program, you can solve that. And serving them, putting their needs first, no matter what, through your questioning process, even when you go into and maybe do a little bit of presenting and talk about your offer or some, levers that you would pull for the coach, like being able to regurgitate and rephrase, summarize some of what they said just so that they feel and know that you are actually listening. Like that goes so so far in today's world that you're actually present and you're there for them. And that, if you can get that part right from an authentic place, you're going to do better than most coaches just by having that sheer desire and that wanting to connect. That's not to say the skills, and that isn't a very significant piece of it too. But the reality is none of that stuff matters if the psychology piece isn't dialed in. So that's what I mean by disappearing. Yeah.
Psychology first, scripts later. Start with with the mindset and the soul, and then go to the scripts. But once you are in the scripts, how do you role play if you're not getting calls? With who could you role play if you're not getting calls yet?
Yeah, we have a couple of different solutions. That's part of a huge thing with our coaching program. Like we meet all the time and we practice with our coaches, getting them on one-on-one calls. And, some of our coaches do workshops and webinars and do one to many. Most of our coaches who have a $3,000 and up type of offer, typically you're going to want to have a one-on-one conversation. And so we've got a full-on AI sales agent specialist that will go back and forth, practice, do the whole thing with you. They can submit for our coaching clients, they can submit their calls and they get one-on-one feedback and hand holding. We meet all throughout the week and do role playing as well, because that we do need to create an environment, Astro, like that is so key to get in those reps. So to answer that, we coach just there's no replacing. You have to set up environments and spaces where they can not just listen, but speak and go through the questioning and the tonality and the verbal pausing and the spacing and how can we bridge, and once we get the data and the information, how can we continue to go through the process. So yeah, AI agents are great. They aren't as good as the humans, but they can get practice in, of course, when it was just critiquing even before I got on this call. One of our clients calls and give him a bunch of feedback, and we just get every call. It's cool because it's like they're getting, you can see them get better. You see them getting more confident, see them really embracing the current condition, future vision, and then these consequence, pain, more pain questions, and they're just getting better. And the ones who are in it and just practicing, it doesn't take very long either, Astor. I mean, it a couple days, couple weeks of like really drilling, rehearsing, conditioning, and getting good. And then, of course, one of the things that I hated doing, and we tell our coaches all the time, is listen to your own calls. You'll find out so much about like what worked, what didn't, what sounded awkward, what sounded inauthentic, and just by watching yourself, it's painful in the beginning, but man, you got to stand in that fire. Like this is the skill, and it sucks in the beginning. At least I hated it watching myself, but you'll learn so much through those processes that yeah, if we can get just a couple degrees better each day on each call, after a couple weeks, you're gonna look back and be like, "Yo, I can do this." There's a shift. There's just like Neo from the Matrix. There's like you go through the motions, you don't believe it, and then you're still not getting sales, and then you get a little bit better. You still suck a little bit, but you're getting more confidence, and then all of a sudden you pop that first sale, like because you've been practicing, you've been rehearsing, you've been visualizing this. It's like I remember making my first sales, like, dude, this is real. Like, this is insane. Like, people are actually running their own businesses. I don't even know what I'm doing. I made my first sale. Like, holy shit. And I felt like Neo from the Matrix. I was like, wow. Because I went to college. You're supposed to go get the job, 40 hours a week, 40K, whatever it is. I was going down to medical school, all that stuff.
Mm.
I didn't even know this stuff was possible. So, like, just the whole evolution of being able to start your own business, get good at this skill, sky's the limit. I was like, wow. And so I get super passionate about helping others create that kind of life.
Mm. Now, let's go a little bit back to what you said about the clarity piece. How
Mm,
important it is to for you to have the offer, because many people say, "Yes, I want to sell coaching," but they don't have an
mhm.
offer even. Can they actually sell coaching without an offer?
Well, without an offer, there's nothing to sell. Like without I guess the distinction there, I mean, gosh, an offer could be just a 3-hour strategy session that you could sell for XYZ. Like before you get to a call, and we have clients come to us with that as well. There's no invoices to collect payments. They don't really have any type of offer. There's no they're kind of going off the cuff, and they haven't made any money. That's the reason why. Like what if there isn't an offer to sell, there is no money, there is no commerce. That's kind of like you got a storefront downtown or a pizza shop, but the door is closed off and nobody can get in to even look at the menu to purchase the pies, right? Or the register, you can't ding the register daily. If we're not ringing the register daily or at least weekly, there's only the business can only withstand so much of that, right? So getting clear on what could be the offer, and it can be a real simple, it can be a 4 week 30-day blitz with some extra, a couple resources, some one-on-one access, whatever that could be. It doesn't need to be an in-depth, crazy software bundle. It can be a simple, all you're doing is helping someone who's like 1 or 2 chapters behind you solve something that you've solved. That's it. It can be very, very basic and very simple. And we can start with the easiest thing for coaches for an offer is just your time. Could you sell a strategy session, a 90-minute, 3 hour? Could we sell a 4 hour package to help you lose the weight? To help you get the funnel up or to get traffic, right? I'm more at this stage in my career, kind of Astro, like what we were talking about is more like scalable, like not so much one-on-one is beautiful. You should do it. You can charge the most for it. It can also be the most impactful. And there's only so much time in the day. There's only so much
Mhm.
you, right?
Yeah.
So in time, once we get the cash flow problem solved and you hit some of those baseline metrics to be able to take care of your family and blah, 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 there's also some cool ways where we would consider could we introduce group coaching? Could we, as an
Mm.
offer, could we introduce some type of, add digital courses or some experiences or workshops, live events so that we could still charge a very nice premium, hit some nice goals financially for you, make a ton of impact but not take as much one-on-one time. Those are all sorts of different offers and value pieces we could put together. But the question you just asked, I would go get some testimonials. I'd go get like 5 or 10, go offer, throw on Facebook, IG, LinkedIn, wherever you're at, like say, hey, I'm taking on 5 or 10 clients. We're gonna help you go get XYZ result. It's free. I just asked for a testimonial in exchange. Just going through that process, you'll get so much real time like feedback and just competitive market research as well, and just interaction with clients. There's a really cool piece to that. You'll also get a whole bunch of confidence in what you're doing because you're starting to practice like the coaching that you're going to eventually sell. You're getting the social proof. And then through that, the next round would be, hey, okay, let's go. You get the testimonials. Let's put them on our website. Let's start publishing those, sharing those, and let's go get our first paying client. And you can
Mm.
do that in a matter of a few days, like in a matter of a week. So yeah, selling your
So,
time is obviously going to be the best, quickest, easiest, fastest way to put an offer together.
and it doesn't have to be an hour call, right? You can say
Right.
you can create your own thing. And it's 30 minutes,
Hmm.
and you book 4 calls. You get a testimonial after each call. That's 4 testimonials in 2 hours.
Yeah, man. Yeah, as creative as you can get. Yeah, whatever works in your schedule, like depending on if you're wherever you're at, but absolutely. Yeah, and then you've got an offer.
Okay. What about the objections? Objections are really popular on Instagram. Is you see
Yeah.
these coaches getting like the sales guys getting the most absurd objections. I don't like you. Your face is baby face, whatever. What do you think about objections? How can we handle objections
Yeah.
from someone while we're on the sale?
Love it. Yeah, and that's gonna be part of the process. I actually like objections are gonna be part of it, but I would much more with the scripts that we teach and the processes that we get our coaches, our clients, like we would much rather prevent the objection in the first place. And that can be absolutely done in the discovery with the right questions and seeding and, doing all sorts of just identity, mapping, all sorts of things that we could do in the actual discovery. And you will get objections from time to time. And for that, we have a very simple I got a framework, it's called our CALM framework, and the steps are real simple as far as, like, just calming the resistance, number 1. So many of us coaches, when we get especially if we spend 30, 40 minutes with a client, and then we come to find out that, boom, they hit you with the objection at the end that they need to think about it, or they need to look at their budget, talk to their spouse, whatever, and remember when my early years, the blood would boil. It's like, "Man, and we just spent an hour together, and you coulda told me in the beginning you didn't have any, there was 0 funds, everything was maxed out," and then I would get, like, so irritated and angry, and it's like, step 1 is calm. Calm the resistance, and that has to do with I think one of the greatest gifts for salespeople is, like, we gotta meditate. You have to chill
Mm.
because there is gonna be times where you do spend time with a prospect and you can't get it done or they hit you with a crazy objection, and you need to be able to have enough emotional intelligence to stop, breathe, and step 1 in that calm formula is calm the resistance. Yeah, like one of the best things I always say is just, yeah, totally cool. Not a problem. I hear you. I got you. And then step 2 is really awaken, calm, awaken for the A in there, awaken what's real, what's actually, we need to clarify the real objection, what's actually behind that. No one, it's not time. And most of the time, it's resource, getting if it's a budget objection and you need to talk to the spouse, we have specific frameworks and questions to handle that, to get around that and actually get them just, there's reframes in there, but really getting to the root of what actually is there, like awaken what's real, what's actually behind the smoke screen, which is most of the time what is there. And then the L in that is my favorite, where we get to lovingly challenge, where we can
Mm.
challenge these old ways of beliefs, these old patterns, this old identity that they are now. Look, if they're looking for a different outcome, they're going to have to start making some different decisions. And we need to be able to lovingly challenge, let them know we're on the same team. I say that on the calls, like, hey, you know what, Astro, we're on the same team. Do you mind, can I give you some feedback, or are you open to suggestion? Most coaches will just avoid this piece because they don't want to cause the friction, they don't want to cause the tension, or they don't want the conflict, right? And
The
so
pull
they'll
and
avoid
toll,
it.
the toll.
Yeah, exactly. And if we do it from a loving place and they feel that, this is not, twisting their arm or getting them, cutting them and throwing salt in the wound and doing it from a place just to help them, just to make them feel pain. It's actually bringing them to the truth, bringing them to the facts. Hey, Mr. and Mrs. Prospect, you've been doing it this way for years. You've gotten this result. This idea that we want to go to a different destination is going to cause a little bit of discomfort, and we're going to need to shift, in that lovingly challenge, shift a lot of their beliefs around whatever it is that you sell to actually get them to see, like, look, this isn't going to go away on its own, or whatever they've done up to this point hasn't been working. Right. And so with that lovingly challenge, we make a bunch of shifts. And then the M, the calm, the fourth piece is to move them to a decision. It looks like it actually might be time for a change here, Angel. Right. And actually going down that path on what the actual decision could look like. And then that's it. Yeah. It's a very calm, we don't wanna you're not gonna hit that objection by trying to strong on them into seeing your benefits or your features or that they need to buy now because of some urgency or price increase, like, really calming the resistance, awakening what is real, what's actually going on with that objection, lovingly challenge what's there because, gosh, what a gift you as a leader, you get to do that. Like, no one else has been able to stand in the prospect to get them to see how this is really impacting their life, their business, whatever it is that you do, and then being able to get them to come to that through questioning, get them to actually come to their own conclusion like, "Holy shit, Astro, you're right. Like, it is time for a change. I can't keep putting this off. It's really hurting, and it's
Mm.
time for a change." Right? So, yeah, the objection piece, I see those reels all the time. A lot of them are, like, they're just so wild, and not how I would ever approach, objections. Because also, if you're, like, if you're a jerk to somebody, like, you shouldn't be doing that anyway, but there is a real shot that, maybe the timing isn't right now, and it might be in the next 30, 60, 90 days, but if you're just cutting off, that relationship by just, blowing up at them because they throw you an objection, that's not who you wanna be either. That's not good.
I see that the true pros have something similar to what you just said.
Mm,
They always take it calm. They always like leverage and they challenge, but not
mhm,
in a way like you should actually do this. But it's like you open the doors, and
yeah,
again, it's not forceful. You are still in their benefit. You're not doing it for yourself
mhm,
because the sell is actually again going back to what we said before. It's you're trying to help them.
mhm.
Love that part.
Man, if they feel that, most of the hard part's done, like, if you care and can close, those are 2 that's the goal. That's the name of it.
Let's go now to, let's say the call say, hey, at the end, I'm not going to be able to have a response now. Let's do it later. You start the follow up. How often? What ways? How can you follow up and not sound desperate?
If someone says that, "Hey, I need some time," y again, following that objection framework, "Okay, cool. Got it, Astro. Not a problem. A day or 2 enough time for you to" "Okay, great." I would actually book a call no matter what. This is one of the biggest things that most coaches, they miss this, and they get into what you just said, where it's just like they're following up over and over again. There's ghosting, there's no communication. We have to have something on calendar. So that's actually my first. If they really do need some time to think about it, we book a session, boom, book a calendar booking first so that in the next day or two, next 24 to 48 hours, they're on calendar. And then before we hop off, we're right back into the sale, something along the lines of, well, look, hey, at Astro, before we hop off, just what did you want to go over? What did you want to dive into? What type of things were in your mind? Just so I know what type of questions you might have we talk on Friday, right? So that we're getting the calendar commitment. That's number one. Getting them. I learned this from one of my mentors. Like, that's step. You never leave a call without either a sale or the next call book. If it's a good prospect, you can help and you feel like y'all could work together. So getting them booked first, but then that's not the end game. Like, we're looping right back into the call. Like, okay, awesome, Astro, great. We're booked on Friday. Now, between now and then, just what did you want to go over in your mind so I know what type of questions you might bring when we talk on Friday. That actually will get them. That's where we want to start looking at the objection, what's actually going on. Well, Brian, you know what? It's just a lot of money. Okay, great. Now we're in the money object. Well, you know what, Brian, I got to talk to my spouse about X, Y. Okay, great. We got that. Now we can handle that. Okay. Well, you know what? I've invested before and I haven't been able to get the results. And then boom, now we can handle, we really need to get behind that. I need to think about it because that isn't a real, they don't need to, people aren't just going to go think about X, Y, Z. They have the information. If you're getting that objection a lot, it's because the client doesn't feel certain. They don't feel that you can help them get there, or they don't believe enough in themselves through your pro that they'll actually do the work. But either way, we need to know what we need to know what's behind that so that we can start to address it.
Mm, okay. So the calendar part, booking the second part.
Definitely.
What else? We skipped the calendar, right? I skipped the calendar, and I'm doing this selfishly for myself. So I have like two or three, like maybe five different people that I've booked a call, but I didn't book the next call. I did
Yeah.
the mistake. How can I follow up with them?
Yeah, so it depends on how, in obviously each prospect and each how you end each call is going to be quite different, and prospects never they never follow the scripts. They always go off the rails, which is why part of the variety and why I love this business and the coaching so much, because people are awesome. They say the craziest things, and each client has its own. While we're all the same in many ways, each client is very unique as well. So as far as follow up, if you've been reaching out, if it's someone who's, like, on the fence here and is a good prospect, I mean, I wanna be in communication, every other day, and giving them, hopefully, there's a follow-up or a drip sequence that has some testimonials or social proof that address specifically whatever the objection is. That's also why we wanna get that information as well. If they feel that little old them, the mom or dad who's got the side business, who hasn't been able to figure it out due to time, I'm gonna go find a testimonial specifically to address that, someone just like them, or I'm going to give them some reels or content or email follow up specifically that's going to address the ability that they can do this in the pockets of time that they have that addresses their XYZ. If it's like gone a few days or even weeks where we haven't gotten, they've kind of ghosted you. One of my favorite emails, in fact, I just had a client do this as well, who now isn't re-engaged in this $7,500 type of offer with this prospect. He was ghosting her, wasn't, was he told her he was in, and then he completely ghosted over the last like 7 to 10 days. Then she wrote a final email that said, "Hey, Astro, should I call an ambulance?" was the subject line. And that got the open. And it was a very simple script, something that we helped her out. It was like, "Hey, I just wanted to, I've been reaching out the last couple of days, haven't heard back from you, not a problem. That leads me to believe one of two things have happened. Either you've fallen down the stairs and you can't get up and we need to get you an ambulance, or you've found something to help you get XYZ solution to solve ABC problem, and that's okay too. I really hope it's the latter. Either way, let me know." Super simple, super tight. And that's another thing too in the follow up. So many, because everyone's busy. One of the biggest mistakes is that coaches will like become so desperate in these emails to then circle back into all the benefits and features. And you said this, and try and do these logic based traps. And then they have this long chat GPT email that it spit out that is like 12 pages long. None of it gets read. It needs to be super tight, capture the attention with like some type of subject line, and then some kind of snarky, not snarky, but depending on you, how you are, like like funny. Like sales, typically those decisions are not made when there's tension. And when it's light, it's loose, it's fun is when those sales are made. So she had a little bit more of a comical vibe with that, with her email, got it opened, and now she's back in conversation with them. So the more time, obviously, given, your chance of closing those sales goes down dramatically. And that's why I like the one call, obviously the best. Two calls if we need it, two call sales. If we are, depending on if it's a super complex selling environment and it needs multiple decision makers, that's one thing. But typically, most coaches, we're talking B2C. It's very set, like we should be able to close the call either in one or two calls. If it goes beyond that, it happens, but we really want to set up the follow-up nurture sequences, the social proof, making sure, that we have these skills. We can get on a call and really give yourself a good shot at closing on that first call, and or at least getting some type of commitment, deposit if they need to go really go check XYZ. And that's another thing too, man. I've had so many clients who say, "I need to check my finances." Great, let's do it. I'll stop sharing the screen. Check your yeah, you don't need to get off a call for that. I've had that happen. So many coaches would be like, "Awesome. Okay, let me know after you check them. We'll see you then." Like, no, like they're literally checking their finances to see how they can make this work. Like, again, we're on the same team. Let's check out the finances. We might be able to split it up on different cards, maybe use PayPal credit for a little bit, like being in that conversation enough to just be like, or even, when clients say, "Hey, my card's out in the car. Send me the invoice. I'll handle it." No. No, no. Guys, no. So much life can happen in there. That email could get lost. something happens on the way down the stairs, whatever it is, the job is not finished until the sale is made and they're committed. Then we can transform a life. So, in that experience, awesome, cool. I got you. I've got time. Go grab your card. We'll handle this. And they
Mhm.
go out and get the card, and we get it done. Versus, you never want to send invoices. That is like 101. You want to capture, process on the call, on the Zoom, get them in, and then get them the next onboarding step and what that looks like.
So much gold. $60 million
I hope
worth of gold right there.
hope that helped. Yeah.
That yeah, that was epic. That was epic, and again, it's not coming from the selfish, "Hey, hey, give me the money,"
Mhm.
but it's
Mhm.
more around like, "Let's finish the work. This is for you."
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's the whole like, we have to really associate that your program, them investing, that's the gate, that's the bridge, that's how we're gonna get out of this current situation and get to ABC result. And yeah, wanting to you're right, it's from a 100% place of service and in their best interest. Grab that card, let's get you started, and we'll get start getting to work.
So tell me, Brian, what is digital mentors?
Digital mentors helps coaches. I mean, man, it basically ultimately is a system in place that helps our coaches attract paying clients. So for years, we've been helping coaches and experts and marketers with our expertise. We've been very blessed. We've figured out systems that, 500 grand per month MRR, monthly recurring revenue. Have had seven-figure days in the business. We figured out some really nice, amazing things. And over the years, we taught that to our high-end clients. There was always a variable in all of that is that the client, the client had to actually execute. So, and we've done that. We've done it, power days where we have be over their shoulder. We do the things, create the funnels, the offers, the ads, the acquisition systems, the webinar templates, and the closing process, the whole thing. And that is for most people is out of the range of what we could do at, to hire us to come to your house to do it for you. So now with digital mentors with like, man, we haven't been more excited because we're still teaching the things that we've done to do millions and millions of dollars through coaching, through memberships, coaching services, digital courses, workshops, retreats, you name it. We've even had swag and digital, physical products and things like that. Really, really cool stuff. And now with some of the new advancements with AI, we've got like 6 different agents and specialists that will actually do about 90% of the marketing for our clients, which to us is like heaven opening its gates, the clouds, the angels appear. It's like, oh, no, like someone will actually hold our coaches, on the line. Yeah, exactly. Like hold the line for them, the accountability and actually getting this stuff done. We now have like a team, an AI team that we install for our coaches to actually do that work so that they can get the leads, they can fill the workshops and ultimately get paying clients. We haven't been this excited. Yeah, I've been online since 2005, and this is it's just a really cool time to be a coach right now. Really, really cool. So that's Digital Mentors has all that, the software, the coaching, the AI team. We focus a lot, as you can tell, on closing and mindset and psychology, so that allowing the coach to receive money and all the things there. But we're super stoked with like the full. It's like the whole thing now.
Okay. Final couple questions when it comes to AI, right? Do you think AI could replace coaching in a few years, or where are the coaches going?
Yeah. As a coach, I'd love to hear the answer from you as well. I would say AI is never going to replace a good coach who knows what they're doing. Like you can't. The intuition, the boots on the ground, the LLMs, they are pattern recognition systems and they are obviously wildly intelligent, but they're not human and they don't have that. I mean, we've gotten so many coaches who come to us with their Claude or Chat, whatever. So there's tons of them now with like, here's my plan. And it's just not the right, it's not what this coach should do based on their specific skills and where they're at. And the AI misses it because it doesn't have that expertise. Like that's kind of like the AI slop. Everyone sees those M dashes. You can tell a social media post that is written by AI these days. I get totally turned off by that. It's not going to replace the good human coaches who have that passion to want to serve, that expertise and wisdom. They've walked the line, they've walked the path, and now they've packaged up their expertise and they're really trying to help a coach who wants to get wherever they want to go. AI, don't get me wrong, man, we use it every single day. It is a game changer. And coaches who ignore AI, they will be in some pain just because you can get so much more done and so much more, be more effective, get so much data and collect. You just do some really powerful things like with our 6 agents. It's incredibly powerful, but without the human directing, like you give me a hammer, I'm not gonna be able to build a house. I don't know how to build a house. Like, there's a tool, like, the actual hammer has never made anybody, like, the iPhone never made anybody money. You have to learn how to use the darn iPhone, the instructor, the conductor, the captain. Like, there has to be someone who knows what they're doing to actually pull the right levers to get the output we need from the AI. So to answer your question, no, it's never gonna replace good coaches, but coaches who don't adapt, they're going to be hurting.
Mm.
How do you feel about this as someone who works with coaches as well?
I think the in person is taking momentum again.
Yeah, me too.
So I see that there's a need for in person experiences. So
Mm,
coaches won't can't be beat on that front. So start preparing something in your community. Start preparing something in your space. Something where you can actually be with people because nothing beats in real person. Second of all, as you said, right, use the tool. Don't let the tool drive you, but you use it to enhance what you currently are. Context and discernment. Never allow it to pump something just to be a yes man, but
mm,
just to train you. Similar to what you're doing, to holding the line, but you make the execution. You are
mm,
not or outsourcing your power.
mhm, mhm.
That is the biggest thing.
Dude, love it. Some great,
Yeah.
yes. The discernment, the context, yes, 100%.
Where can people find you? Learn more about the digital mentor.
Yeah. So come on over to LinkedIn. You can just search Brian Fanale or you just go to digitalmentors.io. We give away completely free audits, which by the way, Astro, we've audited, this is a little bit more recent. I think like over 200 businesses, coaches businesses. The average score out of 100 is 49%. That it Yeah, man, it is yeah. The best we've ever had has been a client of ours for, years now, and it was like a 83. It's a tough audit. If you're a coach and you wanna see your marketing score, we publish that for free. We can also get you a playbook, which it gives you the plan to fix the holes and how to do it. If you wanted to do it on your own, that's beautiful, that's great. And we would suggest to come, that's where the AI team comes in and it will actually execute the plan for you. So that's kind of our 90-day cycle and sprint. And the way it works is after each of the 90 days, we re audit our coaches, which is really fun because now they're seeing the growth and how they're changing with their offers, their messaging, what they have out there. I mean, it analyzes everything that pretty much you've ever done and put out online, the audit playbook, and then the actual execution of it. So digitalmentors.io, and you can start that audit process. But come say hi over on LinkedIn is probably the best spot for me. And just Brian Finale, you'll find me.
Mm.
There's only one.
There's only one. It's been an legendary, epic conversation, Brian. Any final message you want to share to the coach?
Keep going. Keep going. There's many dark nights in my career, and I can't tell you how, man, many times I wanted to throw in the towel. It gets easier as you get better, and it's worth it. It's the other side of it, the job, the comfort. It can be very attractive, especially if your back's against the wall. And I would just say, man, keep, much respect to all you beautiful coaches who are working in this, trying to do it. It is not the easiest path. There's a ton of competition, but you're being called by something greater, somewhere, something, somehow, someone gave you this gift and you're trying to figure it out and explore what it looks like. And I just much respect for that. And if I could give anybody any advice to it's worth it. Just go and take the leap, have some faith. It's going to be scary as hell, but that's the beauty part. Like, you're going to become an incredible version and expand your capacity for what you believe is possible every step of the way. as you continue to stretch, grow, get uncomfortable, and there will be a shift in your career where it just something clicks and you cannot go back and you just are like, holy shit, thank God I hung in there. And that's what we want for all of our coaches and for your listeners as well, is that they get to that point because it's an amazing road once you get through the shitty beginnings.
Indeed. Brian,
Yeah.
it's been an absolute pleasure. I hope to hear more from you soon.
Thank you, Astro. Thanks for having me.